Hey everyone, hopefully having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value, and if you're looking for undervalued investment opportunities, click subscribe. Today I'm going to go over technical analysis, some gold and silver. Again, this is just financial education. It's not meant to be financial advice. Please don't use it as such. I'm going over these charts, doing it on a daily basis so you guys get a hang of it. You can see exactly what I'm looking for, what my opinions are, and hopefully you'll become a better investor by technical chart reading. And again, the big picture stuff is the stuff that you want to focus on. The day-to-day things is just to cost average in. Doesn't mean you're going to get it perfect. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it perfect. That's why we use ratios. That's why we use the market conditions, which is basically interest rates and real estate, to really drive where our investments, where we should be looking for in our investments. You know, what sectors. So let's jump in. I don't have any kind of long introductions here. We're going to go right into charting here. So here we go. This is gold and silver. Now I'm going to start with the 10-year yield because this is what prices assets. We were in this strong uptrend past for many months. We went sideways, like ran into basically a brick wall. Some sellers up here, whoever's doing this. And then we've got the trend line that broke to the downside, and we've been moving sideways. Big, large update today. 3.77% increase in the 10-year yield. What does that mean? Well, the market has been punishing gold and silver when yields increase. Because if they have a known inflation rate and yields increase, they think that it's a lower real negative yield rate. What that means is that you take the inflation minus your 10-year and you subtract the two. Now, in a sane world who would know what they're doing, in my opinion, is you want to front run it and you want to see, is inflation increasing or decreasing? If it's increasing and the yields are roughly the same, then you have a larger real negative rate. And I would think that gold would move and respond to that, but the market is the market and it is always right. So in the short term, I think we're going to see some pain if yields go higher. Here's the dollar. The dollar's been moving sideways in this pattern that it's creating, kind of a wedge pattern. We broke this uptrend to the downside, and you can see we are in a downtrend. We are consolidating sideways at the moment, and I have a feeling that at some point we're going to break to the downside. But that point isn't here yet, and it may take some time. Now gold, gold, what it needs to do is it needs to work off this large momentum. It moved from 1900 to 1776 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, really. In 5 days, it did that. That is a lot of momentum, and that momentum needs to get worked off. The sellers need to come in here and they need to show us that they mean business. And if I don't see any buyers coming here showing me any business, then I'm going to stay out of it at the moment. I'm still invested. I'm just not putting new money into it. I'm waiting. Here's silver. This is the chart that we've got on silver. Big, large pattern developing. Again, this can take some months to play out. The longer this pattern remains in the pattern, the bigger the move to the upside. That's if it breaks to the upside. This for surely looks like an upside pattern to me, but if it breaks to the upside and this pattern continues to move sideways, let's say it moves sideways for another 6 months even, we could see a massive move to the upside, just massive. Here's silver zoomed in. We are on the 200-day, just moving sideways. I think today was a small update. I think it's kind of in the making. We do have a lot of momentum here, but it's getting worked off, putting in work. Now going into GDX, GDX still looks like it wants to come back. Looks like it wants to pull back with this bearish engulfing. Again, I'm not doing much of anything. I'm sitting here waiting. GDXJ, the same thing as GDX. Bearish engulfing, I think it could potentially go lower. Still, Jay, I drew in the line here for support. I think we're going to head down to this support line here and test it. Now, EXK looks like it's breaking its uptrend line to the downside. Now, if you guys are getting scared or you want to let profits ride, this is where you would do it. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to let it ride. But if you're scared and you have profits, let's say you purchased back here or in here, you can sell some, keep some money on the side. That's up to you. I'm not trading in and out. I'm just holding on. And I think we're probably entering a consolidation period where this is going to have to base out for a little while. We very well could come down here, which is good if you're a long-term investor and you want cheaper shares. I think we are going to pull back here. First Majestic Silver, we've got a little bearish engulfing. Let's see if it breaks this support line here. But it looks like we could potentially, well, not necessarily. Depends what we do at this support line. Mag Silver broke its uptrend here, and we're probably pulling back for a little bit. Same with Hecla Mining. Here's the uptrend line. It's probably going to come back to this uptrend line, possibly. There's some good support in here. Yamana Gold. Now, Yamana's got higher lows here. And if we break this support line down here, it does not look good. So I'll continue to monitor this, and I'll give you my opinion, but it looks like it's going lower at the moment. El Dorado Gold, we're in this downward channel. Looks like we want to go lower here, bearish engulfing. Franco-Nevada, to me, it looks like we want to go lower. Bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing, and we're probably going to come back somewhere. It's going to pull back. And then wheat and precious metals, I'd say the same thing. I'm looking more from a bearish perspective than a bullish perspective at the moment. And then Teuton Resources, we'll see what happens down here. It very well could break to the downside if we see pressure across the entire sector, if gold doesn't hold. But I'm waiting and seeing what's going to happen. Impact Silver, it's carving out this gigantic pattern. We do have higher lows, so it doesn't look bad. It looks like it's putting in a gigantic bottom. But remember, this could take some time. This could take another year or two. And I know everybody wants things to happen immediately. I get it. Everyone does. And the name of the game here is, and this is what happens to me, it happens to young investors all over the place. These patterns are creating it. They're basing patterns. They're basing it out. Basically, this pattern is for Impact Silver behind me. That's a big pattern. That's something that you can launch from, and it could be a very big launch. This could be a $5, $10 company very easily. Something on that sort, between $5 and $10. Now, is it worth not waiting for it? I think it's worth waiting for it. All of these companies, they have incredibly low valuations, incredibly low ratios in comparison to stocks and gold and other assets. It doesn't mean just because they're undervalued that they're necessarily going to just turn around and fling higher. That's why you diversify out and get a bunch of undervalued investments in a bunch of different sectors, because some sectors are going to go right now, some are going to be delayed, others may even go down. So that's why I spread it out and try to keep the portfolio chugging along. Now, I look at all of these pullbacks as buying opportunities. If the market conditions are there and the ratios are there, there's no reason to not continue to purchase into it. If those market conditions change, I will let everybody know. If the housing market starts to tank, we'll see it. We'll see it in inventory. And again, this isn't fast. Remember, everybody has information at their fingertips, but the information doesn't come out till a monthly, it comes out on a monthly basis. And we have to see this go down for a couple months. This isn't like, it doesn't happen quickly. It's not fast. And what I would do is subscribe to the channel. I'll give you guys updates on market conditions and ratios, and I'll give you my opinion. But right here, this looks like a very good basing pattern. It's just taking its time. And things don't happen at warp speed. And I know everybody wants things to happen at warp speed. They get impatient and then they go and chase price somewhere else. And you know what? That is something you do not want to do. You want to accumulate undervalued assets when the valuations are extremely cheap. And if you really want to play this and make a lot of money, is you focus on the ratios. You focus on what's undervalued and you continue to accumulate. And you may accumulate for years. And then it goes. Let's say your cost basis on this is 50 cents in Impact Silver. And let's say it goes down, and tests the bottom at 30 cents and you get some at 30 cents. So your cost averaged in, you're at like 50 cents and this thing goes to $5. That's a big move. The 10 bagger. 10 times your money. Are you going to find 10 times your money? Chasing price? Probably not. So be patient. I'm sitting here watching the charts. I still think there's some downside pressures here. I'm not necessarily just jumping in here. I'm waiting to see what happens. And again, I've already established positions in a lot of these companies. I'm already in it. So that's my paradigm. And now if I wasn't in it and you were looking at things and things kind of like base out a little bit and they look like they're coming to a support line, you can sprinkle some in. I mean, that's up to you. That's a very good strategy, I think, for a long-term strategy is to sprinkle in the undervalued assets and then hold on. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, put it in the comments section. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.